Okay, let's do some yoga. So we're going to begin in our standing position, Utkatasana, mountain posture. Today we're going to rework through Utkatasana, the mighty, powerful one, and Garudasana, the eagle, the focused one, and then we're going to do Parighasana, the gate posture. Okay, by re-practicing each movement continually with patience, it will take you through the process of becoming more supple, flexible, increased strength, perseverance, and then from there many more benefits will come to you. Mountain posture, you're making yourself uplifted, tall. Think about picking the toes up, perhaps giving them a little bit of a wiggle without looking down at them, and then rest them into the mat. Stretch up with the flesh around the legs, from the soles of the feet, the ankles, lift up, rise up through the shins, the calf muscles, elevate the knees, the backs of the knees, open them out, lift them. Extend upwards with the thigh muscles, the quadriceps here, the biggest muscle group of the body. Lift up through the backs of the legs, connect with your buttocks, lift the buttocks, draw the buttock cheeks together. As you do that, you'll feel this natural tilt of the pelvis, and that's the pelvic girdle centralising itself. When you tilt the pelvis, you'll feel a natural pull of the stomach in, back and down. And that's the abdominals beginning their support work for the spinal cord. You'll rise up through the torso, the trunk of the body, lifting all the way up to the crown of the head. Take a breath in, and when you release that breath, draw your shoulder blades towards each other so that your shoulders move back, so that you open out across the front of the chest. This increases the space you're now enabling for the breath in to open the rib cage and for the lungs to inflate. So you're actually giving greater room for lung inflation. Take a nice long breath in and see if at the very top of that breath you can just sip some more air in, increasing lung capacity. And then release that breath slowly, consciously and fully. Okay, Utkatasana, the mighty one. So this position is going to stretch, especially around the Achilles tendon, and it's also going to strengthen the base of your spine. It's called the chair posture. It's almost as if you are taking a seat in the position, the movement that you make. Let's breathe in, raise our hands upwards and bring the palms of the hands together. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Unclench your teeth. Soften the skin on your face. Stay tuned into your flow of breath. Nice deep inhalation through the nostrils. And then as you exhale, bend your knees. Be aware of the downward flow of energy that you can feel as the heels of your feet press downward. However, from the pelvic girdle, you're lifting, rising up, extending the trunk of the body upwards. So you've got these opposing forces of push and pull. Pushing down into your heels of the feet, pulling up to the fingertips. Be aware if you're pushing your buttocks out behind you and your chest forwards, can you have that tilt of pelvis so that the stomach pulls in, thereby supporting the base of the spine. Breathe. And to the next inhalation, lift up, rise up, and lower the hands down. So you want to be making a nice zigzag shape with the body as you move into Utkatasana. Or I believe it's Utkatasana even. Breathe in, raise the hands up, drop the shoulders away from the ears. You're rising up through the flesh on the legs. You keep in firm position of your feet in the ground beneath you. And when you next breathe out, you commence bending of the knees. Sit your buttocks down. Stretch up through the torso. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Chin parallel with the mat. You should feel the ears brushing on the insides of your upper arms. Reaching up to the fingertips. Breath flowing. Teeth unclenched. And then breathe in. Stretch up. And release down. So the mighty one will help you get a beautiful stretch through your Achilles tendon. It's going to increase muscle tone in the whole of your legs. And of course it gives that great firmness around the pelvic girdle, the lower spine. You've got the coccygeal region, the sacrum, the lumbar dorsal part of your spine, then the thoracic part, and then right up the top, the cervical. It's good to know about your spine. Okay, let's move now into Garudasana, the eagle posture, a very focused animal. When a bird of prey is looking at its prey, it does not move its focus. Its concentration is totally trained to that one spot. So think about this as you practice and it will help your balance. In this position, the legs are entwined, the arms are entwined. So this will increase your ability to coordinate. Okay, let's take the weight onto our left foot. You're going to press down firmly into the heel and toe of the left foot. Nice deep breath in, create some space and lift in your upper body, and then exhale, bend that left knee. You're going to pick your right leg up, cross it over your left as high on the thigh as you can, cross that right shin around the back of the left calf muscle. Be aware that you don't swing your body out to the left too much. See if you can straighten it, keeping both hips ahead of you, bringing that right knee back into a central line. Breathe in, raise the hands shoulder level. Exhale, lower them, allow the left hand to cross under the right arm, and then entwine the forearms. Raise the elbows, lower the hips. Breathe, concentrate, focus, and then gently disentwine. Take the weight onto both feet, into Tadasana, and then travel that weight into the right foot, pressing down into the big toe and the heel of the right foot, and then taking a bend of the right knee. Check that your shoulders are still above your hips. Avoid leaning forward in this position. You want the trunk of the body to remain like a pillar, a column. It's nice and straight. We're going to pick that left leg up and we're going to lift and cross it over as high up on the right thigh as we can, so that the left shin can then wrap around the right calf muscle. And then draw yourself into a central position. And once again, avoid veering off to the right too much with that left knee. You want to get those hips nice and central. Breathe in, take the hands to shoulder level. You're moving slowly so that you can consciously control. You'll lower the arms down. They will cross with the right arm under the left. and then the forearms will entwine, bringing the right hand to rest in the left palm. Raise the elbows as and when you feel the suppleness coming into your body. Follow your breath, for your breath is your guide. And then disentwine. Remembering again the three parts to a movement, the way in, the holding, and the way out. And that they can be all equal parts so that you give them the same amount of strength, energy, and grace. So that was Eagle, Garudasana. Let's bring ourselves down now to look at Parighasana. Sanskrit words, remembering them all. Parighasana is known as the gate posture because you're going to almost make the shape of a gate with your body. It's a lateral flexion of the spine, meaning you're going to be going side to side with the movement of your spinal cord. This position does bring about greater mobility in the hips. Of course, it stretches your spine laterally. It gives increased extension to the outer edge of the sides of your body too. For a lot of us, we forget about the sides of our body. We face the world face on, front on, and we forget about bringing space and freedom to the sides of our body. So that's what we're going to experience with Parighasana. Let's bring ourselves into an upright kneeling position so that our thighs are perpendicular and we're resting on our shins and front of feet. Now, because we're going to be swinging the leg out like a gate, we need to think about the hip joint. So we're going to breathe in and we're going to create space and lift. Remember the ball and socket joint that I've spoken about in sessions before this, your femur bone, your thigh bone. It's got a ball end at the top here and the hip rests in like this. So when you breathe in and you lift your hip, that will allow mobility to take place. So think about lifting the buttocks as well. You're creating the space to move into. Breathe in, and as you exhale, you'll then extend your left leg outwards. And you'll place your left foot down at a point that feels comfortable for you. So it might be that your toes are pointing to 12 o'clock. You may be able to open them out further. Find the position that's comfortable for you and make that adjustment now. Your left hand will rest on your left inner thigh. You want your right shoulder to remain in line with your right hip. So bear in mind, as you move down the left leg, if you feel that right shoulder dropping forward because you're trying to get down so far so quickly, you will have gone out of alignment and you'll miss quite a lot of the nutrition and nourishment of this position. So you want to bring yourself back to the point where the trunk of your body remains aligned, shoulders over hips. Okay, breathe in, create more space in this left hip. Exhale, gently begin to take that left hand down the inside of the left leg. Nice deep inhalation. Exhale, see if you can drop that right shoulder back and open out across the front of the chest, bringing the right hand side of the chest to draw up towards the ceiling. Unclench your teeth. Breathe in, raise the right arm. Now really stretch from right hip to armpit all the way up to the fingertips. You're going to rotate that arm in its shoulder socket, so you're actually turning from the shoulder, you're not just moving at the wrist. And then you will bring that right arm over, and in time it's going to travel down to meet with the left hand. Again, avoid dropping forward out of alignment. Think 2 panes of glass that you are resting between. Unclench the teeth, breathe. Pull the belly button in to support the spine. And then you'll breathe in, drawing the stomach in, rising up. And then you will take that right hand to rest onto the mat in line with your right knee and your left foot. You'll raise your left arm up, reach up into the fingertips. You'll rotate and stretch that left arm over to the right hand side. Your inside of your upper arm will be resting in alignment with your left ear. And breathe. And then pulling the stomach in to give it support to your spine as you return to the central position. You might like to bring your buttocks down to rest onto the heels of your feet. And remember, if that's a little bit painful for you, you can use your cushion, place it on top of the heels and the calf muscles, and then sit down on it. Just gives it that extra bit of comfortable support. Okay, ready to go in the opposite direction. Breathe in, rise up into an upright kneeling position. Exhale. Breathe in, think about the right hip. Think about lifting it up and away from your femur bone. Exhale, hinge the right leg out to the right. Take your time to find the foundation of your position and where best placed your right foot is. You might like the toes turning in. You might be able to sweep them all the way out. It depends on how your stretch and suppleness and flexibility is at this moment in time. You want to keep the trunk of your body nice and straight in front of you. Keep your shoulders back a little, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, opening out across the front of the chest, always creating that space. Space equals freedom. Right hand resting on the inside of the right thigh. Nice deep inhalation through the nose. Exhale, begin to gently take that right hand down the right leg. Be honest with yourself. Check, have you dropped that left shoulder forward and crunched down in the abdominals? If you do that, your rib cage is going to crunch down into your stomach. It's not going to allow as much oxygen to move around and feed you. So you really want to keep that nice opening across the front of the chest. Take your right hand to the point that feels comfortable for you. It's okay if it's up here on your inner thigh, on your inner calf muscle. It's at the point which works for you in your practice today. Breathe in, raise that left arm, reach up. The position can start right from this hip, the stretch. Reach up into the fingertips and then slowly, with the breath guiding you, remembering each time you breathe in, you're going to be creating space, you're going to be elevating internally. And then when you breathe out, that's when you surrender. It's almost like a sigh, releasing down into the position. And then pull the stomach in, support your spine as you breathe in. Rise up through the center, bring that left hand to rest on the mat to the left of you, in line with your left knee and right foot, and then your right arm comes up, it rotates in its socket and it reaches out. You're trying to make a nice diagonal line from right outer edge of foot all the way up to the right fingertips, stretching them up to where wall and ceiling meet. Pull the tummy in, unclench the teeth and breathe. You might like to look up to the palm of your right hand. And then securing the spine, by pulling the stomach in, breathe in, return to that central kneeling position, and then once again coming down, bringing the buttocks to the heels of the feet. Parighasana, gate posture. Place one palm on top of the other. Have the point of thumbs touching. Shoulders over your hips. Chin parallel to your thighs, to the mat. Pose of contemplation. Close the eyes. Unclench the teeth. And breathe. Tune in. Observe the ebb and flow of your cycle of breath. Look internally to watch. As you inhale, the chest moves forward, the rib cage opens, the lungs inflate, the diaphragm moves downward. When you exhale, the diaphragm returns to its original position, the rib cage closes, the lungs deflate, the chest lowers. Breathe in and breathe out. Connect with the ebb and the flow. Good. And then release. Whilst we're here in the kneeling position, we will move into Virasana, hero posture. Now, if you do have knee difficulties, troubles, knee injury, this position might not be for you, or you can do a variation of it by using blocks and blankets to keep yourself upright lifted. This position really does take time to achieve. So again, think about letting go of the ego. Avoid pushing your body too far too soon. There is no need for any force whatsoever. You're not in competition with yourself. You're not competing against anyone else. You are simply discovering the potential movement that you have as a human being. So you might like to have your cushion near you. You might like to use a block. Bring yourself back up to an upright kneeling position. Okay? You're now going to take your feet hip width or wider apart and allow the knees to come apart slightly as well. When you reach the fullness of the posture, your knees will be together. But to begin with, have them opened out a little. You can use your right hand to grab the flesh of your right calf muscle and roll it outwards. 2 fingers and a thumb of your left hand. Take the 2 fingers, place it underneath your knee and open out the flesh there. And bring yourself to lower down. Very gently. Remember, if you need to have a block to sit on, that's great as well. Because if you start on a position where your knees, thighs, calf muscles, front of feet feel comfortable, you'll be able to breathe here, almost like in contemplation pose. And your breath will guide you. Every breath in and out, you'll feel this continuous flow of space being created and surrender happening. So once you've done one side, you can come back up and go with the other side. So left hand on the fleshy calf muscle, roll it outwards. 2 fingers and a thumb, take the 2 fingers, back of the knee, get that flesh and roll it in a clockwise position. You're almost bringing the back of the knee flesh round to front of knee. And lower yourself down. So take your time. Really do remember to use blocks and cushions to place underneath you. Because If you're trying to come down and you're here and you're like, that's really hurting, and you've got no support, your body is going to tighten. Your muscles and skin, it's all going to contract, which makes tension. And when you're tense, freedom of movement does not happen so easily. So, if you've got support, the body can go, I'm supported. Now I can let go. And that's when stretch, flexibility, suppleness takes place. You want to be nice and relaxed. Being relaxed, having space and freedom allows movement to flow. Virasana, hero posture. Now this is a great position as well because for the knees being bent back upon themselves, it actually cuts off blood supply to the lower legs. And the cutting off of that blood supply allows the mind, the trunk of the body, just to settle down into a very relaxed state. And when you sit here and concentrate on the breath, the heart rate slows, the nervous system is soothed, the parasympathetic nervous system surrenders, calms. So you get this lovely experience of calmness. Allows you to be free in the mind. Use your powers of visualization to see the very best person that you can be. The power of the imagination to take you wherever you would like to go. The power of positivity in this position of hero. You do become your own hero. And give yourself positive mental statements. I am strong. I have great energy. I have great beauty. Potentially, I can become a great human being. Here, in this position, I am free. You're able to feed yourself positive mental statements, and the more positive that you feed yourself, so it becomes a manifest in you. So it becomes your truth. Bring your hands forward, lift your buttocks, draw the toes together, and then just come to sit on the heels. And again, if you need to use that cushion, blanket. Bring the hands to the heart, place of all truth. Be aware of gratitude. Ensure that every day you are grateful for even one small thing. Because gratitude can grow, and it's a very positive emotion. It's a very positive way of thought. Acknowledge the time and space you have now. Tune in to your flow of breath. Tune in to the new strength you're creating within yourself. It's called self-empowerment. It's very powerful. It's one of the greatest parts of yoga. Enjoy it and give thanks.